Welcome to the Neighborhood Watch Crime Prevention Training. I'm Samantha Nolan, and for the past 22 years, I've been holding trainings across the city, teaching individuals how to reduce their likelihood of becoming a crime victim. We'll be covering crimes of opportunity, which make up 80% of the crime in DC. Joining me today is Kai Branch. She's the outreach coordinator for the 2nd District Metropolitan Police Department. There are 7 districts in DC, police districts, and each one has an outreach coordinator. To find your outreach coordinator, please go to mpdc.dc.gov, and then search for My District, and it'll tell you which district you're in and who your outreach coordinator is. Today, we're going to talk about crimes of opportunity. That's 80% of the crime that we have in DC. These are the crimes that we can actually prevent through simple behavior changes. These are not drive-by shootings or the most heinous crimes in DC, but by reducing the number of preventable crimes, we can allow our police officers to concentrate on preventing and solving those more heinous crimes and violent crimes. So I'm going to be sharing with you some pictures of actual crime scenes and teaching you what behaviors contributed to the crime occurring and helping you learn ways to reduce your likelihood of becoming a crime victim. So I'm going to share my screen now. And the view that you have, Kai?
We have a full screen.
Thank you. Okay. I started writing this program in 2000, and at that time there were very few cell phone type crimes, but now those have increased, as have other crimes along the way. When I started this program, I had 25 slides. Now I have well over 100 because we have all sorts of new crimes that have come about. The police are working hard to stop crimes and to prevent and help solve crimes, but we really need your help too by decreasing your probability of becoming a crime victim by changing these simple behaviors. Burglaries are not random. There are particular homes that are targeted for a burglary, and I'm going to show you some that have been targeted so you'll learn what it is that the burglars are looking for. This particular home had 3 burglaries, and you can tell by the bamboo foliage that a burglar can easily enter this home without ever being seen from the road. A police car can drive right along the street here and see nothing. And privacy fences and high foliage are what what burglars are looking for. So by cutting back that foliage, this is the same house with the bamboo removed. And you can see how easy it would be for a police officer to drive by and see someone trying to break into this home. So burglars know that too, and they're looking for the other type of that house. Enclosed porches are also a huge target for burglars. The outside door is often kept unlocked, and they will enter the door, close it, and then break into the house once they're inside that porch. So as you can see, this house has an ADT alarm system now. It didn't have it when the burglary occurred. It's really important that if you have a house like this, that you lock that outside door. And if you can afford to have an alarm system, that will help. It will not prevent the burglary, however. Alarm systems shorten the time that the burglar will spend in the house if your alarm system is activated. If your alarm system is not activated, that sign will not stop a burglary. If you go on vacation, burglars are also looking for what we call red flags, and I'm going to go through those with you. They are something that stand out very easily around the house that tells the burglar that nobody is home. And tall grass and newspapers out in the middle of the day are big red flags, especially when you combine several red flags together. This house would be targeted. You can see the overgrown bushes around the front door and the windows. They can hide behind there, and this would be a perfect house. This picture was actually taken from my car, and what I do is look in the neighborhood as if I were the burglar. And often I can pick out the houses that will be burglarized. This home, you can tell somebody is gone because the newspapers are piling up in the front of the house. And also the light above the porch there, the deck, is on. And if you're home, you would turn off the light that's outside the house during the day. What we're really recommending is that people put their outside lights on timers so they go on at night and go off during the day. And then even if you're not home, it looks like there's somebody in the house monitoring the lighting. Politicians and contractors often put brochures, or they hang information from the doorknob. And then the burglars will come through a day or two later to see who has not removed that from the door. If you're home and going in and out of that door, you're going to take it in. If you're away, you really need to notify your neighbors to monitor the outside of your house. And even if you stop the newspaper, sometimes they're delivered. So your buddy in Neighborhood Watch would take in these brochures and would take in your newspapers while you're gone, and any packages that may be delivered. Again, another house with newspapers and brochures lining the house. In the wintertime, we really recommend that if you're going away, please have a neighbor shovel the walk for you while you're gone, because several days after the snow, the burglars will go through the neighborhood and look to see who has not shoveled the sidewalk. That could indicate that possibly you're disabled, or that you are away and you can see there's no car out front, so it looks like nobody's home. The front walkway to the front door has also not been shoveled. So burglars are actually looking for these red flags. So have a neighbor shovel your walk if you're going away, please, or hire someone. During the summer, it's really important to have your grass cut. If you're going to be away for more than a week, cut it before you leave and have somebody else cut it while you're gone, because tall grass, the lights on around the door during the day, and the newspaper out in the yard, these are three big red flags. So I talked about a timer. This is a timer that works with dusk and dawn, and you program it and it has a backup battery. So if your power goes out, you still have a backup battery that's going to regulate your outside lights. This particular one is about $50. There is a less expensive one that's about $25 and is easy to install, but it does not have a backup battery. So look at this, several different kinds, and please have a timer on your front and back door. inside the house, it's important not to have an absolutely dark home while you're gone. So this is a way to set an inside light so that it will go on in the evening and go off before bedtime. It just makes your home look more like you're like you're there and not away. Another tool is to have a camera, an outdoor camera on your home, and anyone who walks up to your home will activate the camera, which will then ring on your phone. And even if you're in Florida, you can then press the live button and there's a microphone and you can talk to the person that's at your door as if you were in the house. You can say, "I'm sorry, I can't come to the door. Can I help you? May I help you?" And again, it makes the house seem like your home and that it's occupied rather than open for a burglar to enter. I'm going to talk more about these cameras as we go through. There is an incentive program in DC where if you buy the cameras and install them, the district will help pay for your cameras in a rebate if you sign up with the district so that if a crime occurs, they can contact you and say, you know, there was a crime on your block. Can you check your camera and see if you caught anything? And if you actually did catch something on your camera, they will transfer the information to MPD and then use that to help them catch or prosecute the individual who was arrested. There's more information here on calling in to get, if you want to find out about this rebate program, you can call by phone or by on the internet. It's ovsjg.dc.gov. And remember that MPD does not monitor your camera. You're the only one who can see your camera. But if there is a crime and you've registered with MPD, they know who on your block has cameras and they'll contact all of those people and say, can you check your camera and see at 2 o'clock, let's say that's when the crime occurred, and see if you caught any of the information on your camera. Other burglary crime prevention tips are, as I go through these, you can see why they will help to prevent a burglary. Storm doors are not secure. You can actually open a storm door unless it has a deadbolt on it. You can open it with a credit card in just seconds. And a lot of people like to lock the outside door just with the regular lock that comes with the storm door and leave the inside door open so that cats and dogs can look out. And unfortunately, burglars are also looking for this, and they will open your door and come in. So make sure that you have a deadbolt if you're going to use your outside door and leave it open. Construction sites are, unfortunately, a big draw for people because this particular home had new appliances delivered at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. They were supposed to arrive in the morning. And by the time they came, the refrigerator, the Bosch stove, a Bosch dishwasher, and Wolf oven, top of the line. The contractors wanted to go out for lunch. So unfortunately, they left the door unlocked and a second truck followed the first delivery truck and walked those items right out of the house. If you have homeowner's insurance, you don't want that to be a claim against your homeowner's insurance. So if you're having any work done, make sure in your contract that it says the contractor is responsible for securing your home during the construction. And then if that happens, they will have to eat the price. We've had a lot of pipes and wiring that can be sold by the pound, stolen from construction sites as well. Leaving windows open, especially at the bottom part of the window. We've had people come and just cut the screen and hop into the house on the first floor. So if you can, put the bottom window down and open the window from the top only so they can't hop in. And then secure the windows with one of these bolts. This is a very easy way to secure windows so that they're not pushed up and down. These sell for 4 in a package for just a couple of dollars at hardware stores, and they're pretty easy to install. This will not stop a burglar from smashing a window and coming in through the bottom, however. We have a lot of burglaries through garages when people forget to close and lock their garage door. And many people, although it's just really not something you would think people would do, but they'll leave the keys in the car so that they know where they are and they just back right out of the garage. But unfortunately, they forget to close the garage door. And with the keys in the car, the burglars can then go into the home, take all of the electronics and jewelry, load it up into the car, and then steal the car as well. So not only do you have a burglary, but you have burglary and auto theft. Please don't leave your keys in the car and make sure the garage door is closed and locked. And never leave keys in the door, because we've had burglars who've come with glass cutters and they'll cut a little circle in the window that's next to the door, reach in, turn those keys, open the door, and then they have your keys to your house, and often your keys to your car are on that too. And again, we have burglary and auto theft. We've had burglaries through air conditioners on the first floor. We actually had a video of a burglar pushing the air conditioner into the unit and then hopping in after it. So if you have air conditioners on the first floor, we recommend encasing them with a metal cage that is nailed in to the frame of the window. And this has helped to stop burglaries. We've had a lot of burglaries through skylights, and often the skylight is not wired to the home alarm. So the top of the skylight often are plastic, and they will cut through the plastic and hop down through that opening and into the house. And as they drop down, no alarm goes off because the skylight is not wired to the alarm system. So we recommend that if you have an alarm system, get a motion sensor that runs along the top of the ceiling of the room where the opening is. And then if they drop down, they will then hit the sensor, which will cause the alarm to go off. Again, having an alarm system doesn't work if you don't use it. So you've got to activate it. And most alarm systems have a motion off button. So you can walk all around your house and not set off the alarm. But if anybody opens a door, then the alarm will go off. So the same thing with the motion sensor on the ceiling. People are nervous about motion sensors in the home because they have a dog or a cat and they're afraid that it'll set it off. But a motion sensor that's along the ceiling is often not a problem with a pet inside. We've had burglars who will use your own ladder to climb in through a second-story window. Now, we recommend that all first-floor windows are locked, but often people will open the second-floor window for ventilation and then leave a ladder outside the house. So please secure ladders inside garages, or if you must leave it outside, Make sure that it's has a good lock that's locked onto something that doesn't move, like some kind of a pipe that's not going to move. And please don't hide any keys around the house because burglars know about fake rocks. They know about flower pots above the door, under the doormat, on a windowsill. Wherever you can hide it, they know where to look for it. So by having neighborhood watch, you can give your key to a neighbor. And if you get locked out, then you've got another key to get in, but don't leave it around your house. This is actually my crime scene. I left my purse on the table because we had an emergency and I had to get a telephone number out from my purse, which I normally keep on the second story of our house so that anybody who comes in as a burglar on the first floor will go around the inside of the first floor, but because the alarm is on, they will leave quickly. But unfortunately, my purse was on the table, and we have an alley back behind our house. And this particular burglar could see my purse sitting on the table. And he came up onto my deck and smashed through that left window that you can see that is not painted. That's a replacement window now. He was using a spark plug to make a little hole in the window, and he tossed in a pen. And I had just been reading the MO of a new burglar who was using this technique. And when I heard that pen drop on the floor, I knew we were about to have a burglary. And I ran into this room to see if I could stop it. I will recommend that you not do that, however. And I was face to face with the burglar, and he crashed through the window, even though he saw me there. So, first, don't leave anything of value, not a computer, not a cell phone, not a purse, anywhere near a window on the first floor where it can be seen through the window. Second, if you think you're about to have a burglary, do not chase the burglar because you don't know if he has a gun or a knife or whatever. And often individuals who see you and know that the house is occupied are either on drugs or are violent. So you want to go in the opposite direction of where the burglary is about to happen and call 911 immediately. A lot of people, when they're about to have a crime, they write an email to their listserv. Please call 911 and say crime in progress. Those 3 words are code 1 and will bring the next available car to your location. It's important to know who's outside your door when they're ringing your doorbell. If you don't have like a camera on the outside, please install a peephole so that you can see who's there. Do not open the door to anyone you don't recognize, because once you open the door, you can become a victim of a crime. So first, ask what the person wants, and often they'll talk very quietly to make you open the door. Don't fall for that. Just check through a window or the peephole or however you can to see who it is. If it's somebody you know, fine. If it's somebody you don't know, keep that door locked and call 911 if you have any problem getting the person to leave the front door. Most burglaries are after your electronics, so please take time to record the serial number of all of your electronics. That's your computers, your TVs, your cameras, your cell phones, your iPads, whatever. Everyone has a serial number and a make and model. So you want to record that. And as Neighborhood Watch, we have a form that you can get so that it leads you to all of the different types of electronics you might have, and it has a space for you to fill that in. Take a picture of it, send it to the cloud, or keep that list somewhere where you have all of your insurance information, because if you need to file a claim, you need the serial numbers. You will never see your electronics again if you don't have the serial numbers. It's just really important. So we've talked about burglaries in single family type homes, but they also occur in multi-units like apartments, condos, dorms. And I'm going to talk about how they enter. They wait until you're approaching your door and you have your security key ready. And they'll say, "Oh, hold the door, please. I'm right behind you. Can you just hold the door?" And most of us are pretty nice people, and we end up holding the door, even though we don't recognize the individual. And then they're inside the building. And what they'll do is go floor by floor, turning doorknobs until they find some that are unlocked. And then they go in. So we really don't want these people wandering around on the floors looking for an open door or window. So it's important. Ask the person to show you their security key, or close the door and say, "I'm sorry, you'll have to use your own security to get in." And I know that sounds really harsh, but it's very important. People moving in and moving out of the building often leave the doors open when they're unloading the truck. And they'll go up with a dolly, unload, and come back. But the entire time they're doing that, they're leaving the doors open. So you need to station somebody there who keeps the doors closed and only opens them as you're going in or going out. But don't leave them wide open. We're going to talk about theft from autos now. This is not auto theft, but this is theft from autos. And there's a big difference. This is a preventable crime. This is what I see, when I take pictures of cars all around DC. People are leaving their cameras, their laptops, their purses in the vehicle, and that's a smash and grab, a 2-second crime that is 100% preventable. Please, your car should look like it just came off the new car lot. You shouldn't leave anything of value in your car. But let's say you're coming from work and you're meeting somebody for dinner and you've got your computer and your, all kinds of stuff with you. You don't want to take it into the restaurant with you. So before you leave work, put everything in your trunk. And don't wait until you drive up to the restaurant to open your trunk and put your good stuff in there, because everybody who's around that car sees where you've put it and they're just going to break into your trunk. If you forget, go around the block once and pull in someplace else, put your stuff in the trunk and lock it. And don't leave anything if you're valet parking. Unfortunately, you're going to have to take it in with you. But we've had a lot of thefts from valet parking. A lot of people like to, when they're going on vacation, they want to get an early start in the morning and they don't want to pack up the car in the 5 o'clock in the morning and disturb their neighbors. So they load it up the night before. And then what we find is all of the stuff is on the front lawn and the valuables have all been taken. So if you have to load up ahead of time, make sure it's in your garage and your garage is locked. If you're on the street or out on a long driveway, I recommend not loading up the day before you leave. We have a lot of crimes that happen out in public, and thefts of purses hanging on the back of chairs, are very common. And I could go around every day and take at least 100 pictures of purses hanging from chairs. And what the thieves do is they just walk right past the purse, put their arm through the strap of the purse and keep walking. And you don't recognize that the purse has been taken until you're about to pay your bill. And then it's gone. And by then, thousands of dollars have been run up on your credit cards. Your ID could have been taken, and it takes 3 to 5 years to get your personal ID back. somebody becomes you and you can't rent or buy any big items like cars or rent an apartment because they have just completely destroyed your identity. So, what are you going to do with your purse? You're not going to leave it on the back of the chair. And really, you should only take what you need for that day. Now, I know a lot of people have 23 credit cards. Take one credit card with you for the day and make sure that you put all of your credit cards on a copier machine and copy the front and the back of all of your cards. Because if your wallet is taken and all of your credit cards are taken, you're going to need all of that information to call the credit bureaus and to call the banks to stop that so that you're not responsible for all of those thousands of dollars that are run up in your name. But when you have your purse, if it's too big to sit on your lap under your napkin, then put your leg through the strap and put your purse between your 2 feet on the ground. That way, if somebody tries to take your purse, they're going to bring your leg up and you're going to be aware of it. So it's just one trick that we have, but it's better to take a small purse just with what you need and keep it on your lap. We have wallets taken and purses taken from shopping carts all the time. It happens at Target. I mean, all of these purses were sitting out when I was walking around the store. You can see how far away the woman is from her purse. That's a crime of opportunity. You want to keep your purse on your body if at all possible. If your purse is so heavy that you have to put it in the shopping cart and you can't keep it with you, then you're taking too much with you for that day. Try to keep it across your body. And also, instead of using a regular wallet, put all of your credit cards in a wallet like this. It's called an Aluma wallet. It's treated with a special chemical so that there is a new tool that somebody can walk right by you and strip all of the information from the back of credit cards and use your credit cards. But the Aluma wallets keep the machine from reading anything on your credit cards. We really recommend getting one of these wallets. I bought 12 for $8 online, and I gave them out to my family and friends. I recommend it. Very inexpensive, but could save you a lot of trouble. We've had some skimmers that are put on ATM machines and on grocery store areas where you tap your card or you put in your PIN, whatever. And they actually raise up the level of the keys. And you should look for this before you tap your card or before you put in any numbers, and make sure that somebody has not added a skimmer to the machine. If you notice it, try to pull it off. If it comes off, make sure that the managers of the store know about it, because this is happening more and more. This happened at the Safeway in Georgetown. So that's where this picture was taken. Cell phones are taken from restaurants all the time. The first thing people do when they sit down is they take their phone out of their pocket or out of their purse and they put it right on the table. And then they start talking in a relationship with whoever they're with and forget that the phone is sitting there. And what the thief does is just put the hand on top of the cell phone and slide it right off the table, and you won't know that it's missing. But we have hundreds of these taken every day. This is along a boardwalk, and this is just too easy for these cell phones to disappear. So please keep them hidden. You don't have to have a cell phone out while you're having lunch or dinner or whatever. We have thefts from offices. We have people dressed like messengers who will walk through the building with a manila folder looking like they're delivering, and actually what they're looking for are purses sitting out or wallets in jackets on the backs of doors, and they actually will just take the wallets out and keep walking. Sometimes they put them inside the envelope and keep walking. So make sure that you have some kind of a locked drawer in your office where you can put your purse and your wallet so that it's not taken, because people are up and down from their office all the time, meeting with other people, going to the bathroom, um, going to the copy machines, and they forget that their valuables are in the office. So same thing with eye products. Eye products are walking from offices, so keep them locked if you're not using it at the time. So now we're going to talk about actual auto theft, the stealing of of autos. We talked about that a little bit with garage doors being left open. It's really important to keep your vehicle locked at all times and never leave a key around the car. In the wintertime, we have people who are warming up their cars. They leave the car running with the key in the car. And a lot of these cars are being stolen during the wintertime. Not only are that cars stolen, but you get, when I started this, it was $100 fine, and I've just been notified recently. I haven't had a chance to update this, but I think the fine is now up to $500 if your car is stolen and it's running. So MPD is giving out in certain high crime areas Apple Air tags that can be hidden in your car, and it's a way to locate your car if it's been stolen. You can also buy one. They're about $29 a piece, and it's going across the city where they're being offered. So look for that on the MPD website. We'll talk about that in a little bit. There's a new machine also that car thieves are using that can bounce an electronic signal to your key fob inside the house and actually open the car door and start the car. So we recommend using some kind of a metal container that when you get home, you put your car key in the metal, and that stops this electronic signal from happening. The other thing, the other thing that we're seeing is that people who share cars often will hide the key somewhere in the car, but you can't lock a car with a car fob in the car. The car will not lock. So what we have is thieves will open the door and push the power button. And because the key fob is in the car, they can then drive away with it. When they use that signal to start your car, if the key fob is inside the house, they can continue driving your car until they turn it off. And once they turn it off, they can't start it again. So we often find cars across the city. They could be taken from the 2nd district and driven to the 6th district. And then the police will find them along the side of the road because the engine has stopped and they can't restart it. So we do recover those cars, but it's a pain to have your car taken. So again, store the key fob in a metal container. Also, don't keep your key fob and your house keys together. Please separate them in your pockets, and if you in your purse, put them in separate parts of your purse, because if you are carjacked and they demand your key and you hand them the one on the left, they've got a key to your house too. And the paperwork in your car is going to tell them where your home is. So you don't want them having the key. It's bad enough that they're taking your car, but you don't want them coming to your home. So please separate those keys in separate pockets. We've had a lot of catalytic converters stolen from cars, mostly between 2005 and 2012, when covers were not added to the bottom of the cars to prevent the theft of the catalytic converters, and it can cost up to $2,500 to replace a catalytic converter. And it's pretty horrible when you start the car and you hear that terrible noise that it makes with the catalytic converter removed. So we recommend that if you have a car between that period, that you pay $500 and get a cover installed on your car around the catalytic converter. It takes a lot more energy and time for them to steal it then, and they don't bother. We have something called the driveway moment where people pull up to their homes. They're sitting in the car, the motor is running, and they're listening to either their favorite song or an NPR story or a game show, or they're looking at their shopping list before they go into a store, whatever. They're sitting there, and the auto thief knows that the car is running, and you're more likely to have a carjacking if you leave the car running like that with you inside. So turn the car off, get out of the car, make sure you're looking around your surroundings before you get out, and act as if you know exactly what you're doing and where you're going, so that you're not a target for car theft. And we found that by adding the VIN, the vehicle identification number, and having it etched into each window, stops cars from being stolen for chopping. Older model cars are often sold for individual doors and bumpers and trunks and hoods for replacement when cars are in car accidents. But in order for someone to sell the door, they would have to replace the window because it has the VIN number of a stolen car. So that cuts into their profits. And we see fewer cars being stolen when the VIN number is written on every one of the windows and it's etched in. And occasionally, MPD will hold a VIN etching event where a car insurance company will come and do the etching for free. So again, if you're on the MPD listserv, watch for those announcements. This shows how small the etching is. It's just less than a quarter of an inch. So you won't recognize it. You won't really pay any attention to it. It won't be in your view. But somebody who's looking for cars to chop will definitely see it. Property crimes. All of the MPD stations will be equipped with an Amazon lock like this. And when you order something on Amazon, you can have it delivered to one of these lockers, and they'll give you a code, and you can see the screen there. You enter the code that you've been given, and one of those doors will open and your item will be inside. So rather than having packages delivered to your home when you're not there and having them stolen, we call the porch thieves. This is one more way to secure your package. If you have an office, it's better to have your packages delivered to your office than to your home because there are people there who can take the package for you. And if you have neighborhood watch and you're going on vacation, you notify your neighbors that you're away and to take in anything that's delivered to your house. If you're expecting a package, you can have it delivered to a neighbor rather than to you. We have a lot of porch thefts, people leaving bicycles, strollers, all sorts of items up on their porches, and then people drive through late at night and take those items, especially around the holidays, November and December. We have a lot of porch thefts. So please make sure that you keep your items secured and locked and out of view. I mean, it would be easy for these items to be moved over to where that white picket fence sort of is on the porch. so they weren't so obvious. A lot of kids drop their bikes in the lawn and then go in and have lunch and come back and the bike is gone. Again, we have a garage door that's open, has items inside easily. We can have a theft there. This is a mother's group, and there are 7 top of the line strollers on the front lawn. The moms and babies are inside the house. Nobody's watching the strollers. This is like a department store for high-end strollers. It's too easy to have a theft like this. This was a mom who dropped off her 2 kids at school, left the stroller there, and walked to the metro. This is just too easy. We need to make crime harder, not easy like this. Somebody could drive right up, open up the door to their car, put that stroller in and drive off. That's a Bob stroller. That's, very expensive. This canoe was left out and taken. There's a fence there and a gate there and could easily have been hidden behind there, but it was left out and taken at 12 o'clock at night. Somebody drove up and loaded it up onto their car. A dog walker who was out late at night actually saw it happening and thought, oh, they finally sold the canoe. Well, no, they didn't sell it. It was stolen. Bicycles are taken all the time. And 2 things we've learned is that if you take the seat off the bike and you lock it to something that's very sturdy and permanent, they're less likely to take your bike because for 2 things. 1, it's very uncomfortable to ride a bike without a seat. And 2, if officers see someone riding a bike without a seat, they're more likely to stop the individual, just ask for identification, and is that your bike? And then if the bike was stolen, they then have somebody that they can talk to about it. But securing a bike to a street sign is not safe because this is what we find. The street signs are pulled right out of the ground and the bikes are taken. So that is not a secure place to lock your bike. If you see it, if thieves see it and they want it, they will take it. So part of our behavior is if we have something of value, we need to keep it hidden. It's like in the restaurant. Keep your phone in your jacket or in your pocket. It doesn't need to be on the table where everybody can see it. 8 out of 10 robberies are of people who are using an electronic openly. So we're going to talk about some of the ways that they're taken. This is a problem with mostly with men who carry their wallets in the back pocket. It's called a 2-finger lift. Usually somebody will interact with the person in the front and they work in pairs. The person in the back will use 1 finger at the bottom of the wallet to lift it up and take the other finger and grab it. And they're off, and the person is talking to the person in the front, doesn't realize that the wallet has been taken. We've also had people pretend to need help with something on a bottom shelf, and they'll ask for help. And then as the person is down on the bottom shelf, somebody else will come along and take the wallet out of the back pocket. So please carry your wallets in the front because if somebody's going in your front pocket, you're going to notice it. We have a lot of car thefts and other thefts at gas stations. If you don't lock your door, often they'll come to the passenger side, take your purse out of the car. So we also have carjackings at cars. So try to be aware of your surroundings, lock your car, and keep aware while you're pumping the gas. And again, only take 1 credit card with you at a time. These are also actual crime reports of snatch and grab of electronics. This is just so easy that it happens all the time. These are 3 actual snatch and grab of an iPhone. And this is really what they're looking for on the metro. These three people are right by the door and they're targeting people sitting by the door. They love people who have earbuds in because you're not paying attention. You're listening to whatever is on your phone. You're actively working on the phone so it's open. They don't even need a password or um, your fingerprint to open the phone. It's already open. And they wait until the announcement, bing bong, the doors are about to close. And then they grab the phone, go through the doors close, and you're left there with your earphones hanging. And the train takes off. So we have so many thefts of electronics on the metro. This is the behavior they're looking for. People sitting, this is the side seat. This blue seat is right by the door. They're looking for people with earbuds, looking down, interacting with their phone, and they will snap and snatch and grab. Again, this is two problems here. The woman on the in the white jacket is sound asleep, and her purse is sitting next to her on the seat. And anyone can go in the seat behind her, grab the purse from behind while she's sleeping, and exit through the door at the back. And she will not know that her purse is missing until she wakes up. So please keep your purse strapped across your body if you can. The other woman in the dark clothing is looking at her phone actively right by the door to the metro. So, two problems there. Robberies on streets of electronics. They target individuals walking alone, earbuds in. I don't know if you can see it, but they're blue earbuds she's wearing, and alone on a quiet street, and they will just drive right up, grab the phone, and keep going. Also on street corners. Here's a huge purse with this woman's entire life inside the purse. And she's on the phone with her earbuds. And anyone can drive right up, take her purse, take her electronics, and be off. And often they will push the individual down on the ground. This is a cement sidewalk here. This could cause a lot of damage. So please take only what you need and keep your electronics hidden. If they're hidden, they don't know that you have it. But if they can see it, they're going to take it. If they see it and they want it, they will take it. We have thefts at ATM machines, and we have a lot of people leaving their cards in the ATM machine after using it. They forget to take it out after they get their money. So watch to make sure nobody's watching you. Put in your PIN number. Make sure you get your card back, and don't stand and count your cash in public. If you can, go to the bank during the day and go inside the bank and not outside where people can see you. And we've had sexual assaults of individuals, especially at bars. So we're asking, if you go out in a group, don't leave anybody behind. If you go out with 5 people, come home with 5 people, and make sure everybody gets home safely. If one of the individuals meets someone that they're interested in, they can arrange to meet that person at another time during the day, but do not leave them behind at the bar, because what we're having is individuals putting chemicals in drinks. If you get up, you leave your drink, you go to the bathroom, you get up to dance, chemicals are being put in that make you very tired. And the approach is, I've got my car right outside. You're looking really tired. Can I give you a lift home? Only you don't make it home safely. So if you buy a drink and you leave it behind, buy a new one. Do not go back to the same drink again, because you have no idea what's been put in that drink. And never take a ride with a stranger. You could be walking with 4 bags from the Safeway and you're pulling, they're very heavy. You still do not take a ride with a stranger, because you may never make it home again. So let's say you've had a crime. We've shown lots of crimes, and you call 911 and they're driving around trying to find your house because you don't have the address on your home. That's precious time, especially if you've called an ambulance because you've had a health issue, a heart attack, or a stroke, and precious minutes are clicking off and you don't have the address on your house. It's really important. This house has the address twice, once in a very small box in mosaics, and a second time in shiny brass on a yellow house. Neither one can be read from the street where the ambulance or the police are driving. Script is very pretty, but very hard to read. So please, let's leave that off and put some nice numbers up there. This particular house has copper numbers on a blue door, and the copper has colored. So it's almost impossible to read it. So they decided to paint it black. So now at nighttime, you definitely can't read it. But you see the vector sign has the house address. But this is not where your emergency vehicles are looking for your address. They're not looking in your flowers and they're not looking in your garden. They're looking for your numbers right by the light. And we have a saying, it's black on white by the light. This particular home has it twice, once outside for the daytime and once inside by the house light. This is our A plus. These numbers are twice the size of most of the numbers, but cost about $1 at Home Depot a piece, and well worth it for any emergency that you might have where you need fire, police, or ambulance. Here again, black on white by the light. This house is set back from the street. You can see the number above the door, and they have a front gate and they have the number out there as well during the day. If you have an alley and you have trash cans in the back, write the number of your house on the trash cans. They often get mixed up on trash day, and this is helping you to find yours. It also helps the police to find the house. And if you're going on vacation, it's a good idea to put have your neighbors put their trash in your trash can so that it looks like somebody's home. And you would think burglars wouldn't look in trash cans to see who's home, but they actually do. Okay, other ways to prevent or help with crimes. So if you're having a crime, call 911 and use the words crime in progress. There are 5 codes when you call 911, and code 1 uses certain words like gun, person down, knife, or crime in progress. Okay, you want to use the words that go along with the crime so that they can code it and know how fast the police need to get there. Call 311 about graffiti and also burned out streetlights. We're going to talk about that. But if you see something, you need to try to take as much information down as you can and use what's in the environment as benchmarks. So as this individual is walking by that street sign, you could tell how tall he is by which sign, where he is on the sign. You can see his clothing, but this is an actual want ad. If you saw someone like this, you see his shoes. One has red shoestrings, the other one has yellow. One arm of his shirt is yellow, the other is blue. He's got facial hair. He's got a lime green backpack on. There are a lot of things about this individual that you could, when you call 911, you could report. And the more detail you've got, the better it is for the police who are looking for this suspect. The higher the chance of finding the individual who committed the crime and not being confused with other people on the street. you want to write down everything that you remember about the crime and do it immediately. Put the date and time on whatever you're writing on, if it's on your cell phone or a piece of paper. Write down everything you remember, because as you are interviewed, several people will ask you questions, and they're leading questions that could make you change what it is that you thought you saw. So go only by what you saw. Stick to what you wrote down. If they ask you a question and you don't know the answer, don't make it up. Just say, I don't know. Very important. So if you're a victim of a crime, here it is. Write it down, date and time. Store the writing in a safe place, because the crime may not come to court for 2 years. And you want to make sure you know where that writing is, so that when you're asked, how do you remember what you saw? You can then produce your list of what you wrote down. Read from your list to the 911 operator. Pay very close attention to facial hairs, tattoos, glasses, the weapon. Was it held in the right arm or the left arm? Any clothing? What direction did the person walk in? What's the nearest intersection? And keep all of that together, and remember to write it all down. Graffiti is your first sign that you've got crime in the neighborhood. And what you want to do is call 311 and have it removed, because that shows the individuals that you are watching and that this is not prime territory for them to take over, that you are involved, that you have neighborhood watch, whatever, that this is a neighborhood that really cares about the neighborhood. So get that removed immediately. And if your information is taken and you have personal ID theft, we have a lot of phone scams, we have computer scams, we have mail theft and bank theft. So it's really important to pay attention and not become crime. No one who's responsible will ever ask you for your PIN number, your Medicare number, your birth certificate, your date of birth, your social security number. None of these identifying information will ever be asked for you, to you, over the phone or through an email. The only time you will give something like that is if you place a call and you're making an order and they say, what's your credit card number? Then that's a different deal. But if somebody's calling you, you do not give that information to anyone. So again, social security number, birth, credit card number, none of that. Don't give anything. And if somebody is claimed, a family member calls and says, Grandma, I'm in England and my wallet was stolen and I don't have any money, that is a scam. Do not fall for that. Nobody in Nigeria has left you $1 million. And if anybody uses the word lottery, if you go into a store and you buy a lottery ticket, nobody knows who you are or what your lottery ticket is. So you hear the word lottery, that's a scam. And never open an attachment on an email from anyone that you don't know, or from people you know who don't describe what's in the attachment before. So if it says, here's a list of everybody in our family's birth date, signed, and your grandson, right? Fine. But you get an email from somebody and it just has an attachment, do not open it up. I'm going to go through this. So again, during COVID, we had a lot of COVID scams. People would say, we've got this great drug that will keep you from getting COVID. There is no such thing. And if you are going to hire a company to do some work on your home, use companies that have been proven through your friends or family to be reputable, that are licensed and bonded, and not just somebody who leaves something in your door and says, I'm working in the neighborhood and I'd love to do your roof for you. No. Make sure you have references. And please shred everything. Anything with your name, address, bank number, social security number, anything like that should be shredded. When you get magazines, on the inside of the magazine, it has a full page with lots of your information. Remove that centerpiece and remove the back part of the magazine and shred them before you recycle the magazine. Because we have had ID theft from people who have gone through recycling and taken information out of those catalogs. And please don't leave mail hanging out of your door like this. We've had people steal bills and then they white out some of the information and write in their names, and it's become a real problem for bank fraud. So try to pay bills online or hand your mail to the mail carrier or walk it to the post office and put it in the mailbox. So don't leave it hanging out like this. All right. So you've learned lots of ways that you can help prevent crime and becoming a crime victim. And what you want to do is share that information with your neighbors, with your family, and try to become a block captain. We really would like you to join the MPD listserv so that every morning you're aware of where the crimes are happening and where the arrests are being made, and you can monitor that. You'll get an email each day that shows the PSA, which is Police Service Area. And again, you can go to mpd.dc.gov and find out what your PSA number is. And then you can follow to see what kind of crimes are you having. If you had 3 thefts from auto on your block, probably there's a street light out and you want to call that street light in. And I'll show you how to do that. These are 2 crimes that happened very close together, and the problem was the street light was out. Watch for on the second email are the arrests, and it has the actual name of the person and what crime they committed. And watch for repeat offenders. Your neighborhood can put in a community impact statement. We had an individual who was dressed as a mail carrier who committed 18 burglaries. And as a neighborhood, we wrote a community impact statement right before his sentencing so that we could say what impact that had on our community. The judge will read that. And if there's a 6-month to 18-month possibility, and we're saying what this person did to impact our community, he got 18 months. So it's important to watch that. So right now, the things you can do right now are check for your address. Make sure that you can see it from the street, both at day and night. Check your street lights, because dark places encourage crime, light places discourage crime. Keep your doors locked on your home and your vehicles. Keep valuables out of sight in your home and your car. And become a block captain. If you don't know who your block captain is, you don't have one. There are more than 5,000 block captains across DC that have been trained by watching this training and by working together to start Neighborhood Watch on their block. If you don't know yours, you don't have one, but you can become a block captain and have an impact on your block to help your neighbors stay safe. So again, the street lights have a yellow and black number on them. You can call 311 and report a street light out if you've got a dark light in your neighborhood. Get those repaired. They will come during the night. It may be a problem that it wakes you up, but it's really important for them to see the light out at night. They will change the bulb and make sure that it's not the actual light mechanism that's broken and it just needs a new bulb. So that's when they come to check that. If you see something, say something. It really is important to get involved. Learn who your officers are in your neighborhood and go to community meetings about crime prevention. Learn about what crimes are happening in your community and work with the officers to find solutions. And remember to call 911. So again, this is just a recap of what we've already said. You can encourage your neighbors to watch this video. It'll be on the MPD video website, on their YouTube website. And as a block captain, you can hand them a copy of Preventing Crimes of Opportunity. That's available on the MPD website also, and it's under Neighborhood Watch. All of my information will be there. And you just get started. So I want to thank you first for taking the first step in preventing crime by watching this video. There's additional information on how to become a Neighborhood Watch block captain. What are the responsibilities? How to sign up your neighbors so that you can form a block list and hand them a copy of Preventing Crimes of Opportunity. You can also hand out brochures that come out throughout the year. And by working with your outreach coordinator at the district, you can request, if you have 25 houses on your block, you can ask for 25 copies and they will deliver that to you so that you can hand it out. Please don't hand out more than one thing at a time, because if you hand out more than one, all of it will end up in the trash. So it's really important just to hand out one thing. Once you meet your neighbors, you get their information of their email addresses so that you connect them by email, and the house number and the phone number. You can create a block list and give that block list to everybody on the block so that they can work together. This is a form that you can use to record all of your electronic devices. And there's more information that you can gather about how to join the Camera Connect DC program. Once you have your cameras, there's a real-time group now that if I'm on the 2900 block of my street, and they know that 5 people on my block have cameras that are connected to MPD, they will immediately write to those 5 people and say, we had a crime, it happened at 2 o'clock in the morning, and you check your camera and see if you have anything there. And you can work as part of this Camera Connect DC program. For more information, again, on getting a rebate for your camera, this is the information on there. And I just want to thank you all and hope that you'll get more involved with crime prevention and share this information with your friends and neighbors. So I thank you, and I'm going to stop the share and hope that you will find ways to reduce your likelihood of becoming a crime victim. Thank you all.